Ellen. Oh. Ellen. Okay. And your son plays with Dale?
Two of them.
Oh,
Both of them are.
Oh,
And
nice.
so are we in Fredericton.
Oh,
in 2
how
weeks.
nice is that?
Very nice.
Oh.
That one doesn't work for the home end? No. Huh? For for this end, no. And that's the other end.
That's
Yep.
why I was giving him a hard
Same paint job,
I
yeah.
know.
Wouldn't let him in.
And yes, exactly. And he
Yep,
told me.
come on.
He told me to tell you
out.
that he really wasn't.
So, greetings to everyone out there in Cyberland tonight from the Guelph Curling Club in Guelph, Ontario.
That's good.
We're with you once again for the third draw on the second day of the Canadian Masters Men's and Women's Championships. Sponsored by High Grade Roofing Systems, our title sponsor, and I'm Rod Stork, and I'm pleased to be joined tonight by Jerry Sunwald, and we're going to provide you some commentary and the ability to watch this game tonight. We're featuring tonight on sheet number 4, British Columbia, New Brunswick on the ladies' side, and expecting a really good game. We've got 8 sheets of ice going here again tonight, and some really good games out here, and we'll keep you informed of all the scores throughout the game tonight, and go from there. Jerry, looks like the rain has stopped outside here in southern Ontario, so I think we should expect some good stuff tonight.
Yeah, the rain stopped, the temperature's gone down, and I was talking to the ice people, and the humidity is dropping. It hit a high of 74% this afternoon, so that's why we had a little bit of frost in there. So I expect we'll see a little bit of quicker ice tonight, and it was a little straighter in that frost too, so we should get some curl. So we're looking forward to a great night tonight. We've got some really excellent games tonight. We've got 2 teams that are undefeated playing over in sheet 1. Ontario women and Manitoba women. We've got on sheet 2, we've got Newfoundland playing Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, I guess it is. Sheet 3, we have Northern Ontario playing British Columbia. That should be a great matchup, I think. On sheet 5, we have Ontario playing Northern Ontario. That's a battle that you have all the time. See who's the champion of Ontario.
That's good.
That's good.
That game is Al Hackner against Bruce Delaney. Bruce Delaney was runner-up at the Canadian Masters last year. He's a previous Canadian senior winner and been around for a long time. And Al Hackner, do you know who he is?
I certainly do know Mr. Hackner. Watched him over many, many years, Al the Iceman Hackner, and he still has all that skill set that he had when his Briar years, when he curled with Rick Lang and the boys out of Thunder Bay, and now he's hooked up with Eric Herndon, and many people will know that Herndon name because of his 2 sons who are curling with Brad Jacobs out of Sault Ste. Marie. So this is a pretty competitive game on sheet 5, and we'll keep an eye on that one for you as well.
Moving across the sheet, we have Northwest Territories men playing Quebec. On sheet 7, we have Prince Edward Island against Yukon, and on sheet 8, we have another great game. 2 prairie provinces, Manitoba playing Saskatchewan.
And I'm a Saskatchewan boy, Jerry, so I always watch those games very much, and I've known Saskatchewan skip Jim Wilson for a number of years when he curled with Rick Folk, and they were the Canadian champs and the world champs in 1980 when Jim and his brother Tom played front end for that team of Rick Folk. And so again, it's always interesting to watch these competitions and see how people come back and continue in this game, and that's what the Masters is all about, because it's given this opportunity for curlers to continue their careers at a competitive level on a national stage. So I think it's marvelous.
Well, I'm a Saskatchewan boy too, and I had a meeting with the Wilson brothers. It was on the curling ice, and we were playing Rick Folk, and they were using the straw brooms back then. I was moving up to the tee line to sweep. They decided they didn't want me there, and next time I looked up, I was on the next sheet of curling ice. So
And I've heard that, not the story just with you, Jerry, on that one, but the Wilson boys, they were brutes when they went down the ice with the straw broom. So I've kidded Jim about that this week, seeing him here, and I do
Whoa,
remember his
whoa,
brother Tom
whoa.
sweeping a rock once on at a briar ice, and he actually broke the broom handle, the straw broom handle, in between his two hands. They were sweeping so hard, so it gave you an idea about how hard those boys worked back in those days with straw brooms.
So moving on to sheet 4, we have a women's game. British Columbia is playing New Brunswick. We're underway at this point in time. You'll see that British Columbia is line 1-2 at this point in time. New Brunswick has a rock just outside of the rings.
And British Columbia has the hammer in this end, Jerry, so they'll be again working towards trying to generate a multiple score here. With those 2 rocks that you've mentioned early in the house, that starts to augur well. As we see this rock go down, attempted hit on that yellow rock, big time curl, and we've seen that certainly in the first 2 days of curling here in Guelph. Jerry and I both curl in this club, and we know that if you ever start a rock off the center line here with a hit, it's going to cause you problems. It's going to over curl just about 95% of the time.
Just don't.
So now we have the BC playing the top back and on the one at the top 12 foot.
Whoa! Whoa! Yep! Whoa! Whoa! Yep! 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 Hard. Yep!
Just to give our listeners and viewers on the cyberspace world, the British Columbia team out of the Chilliwack and Richmond Curling Club, skipped by Janet Klebe, third Kerri Miller, and the second Jane Adam, and the lead, I should say, Laurie Shimizu. And the team out of New Brunswick, out of the Thistle St. Andrews Club in St. John's, skipped by Ellen Brennen. And Ellen has been in this game many, many years. She's a wonderful 83-year-old lady and just a marvel person to talk to. Our third on that team is Rose Donovan. The second is Nancy Porter, and the lead is Shirley Richard. And as I said, we curl out of the Thistle Club in St. John.
Thank you.
So we have a takeout attempt by New Brunswick. They took one rock out,
You want it?
bumped the other one over into the 8 foot, and they sit second shot at this point in time. Miller from BC is attempting a takeout on the New Brunswick rock on the center line.
Yep! Whoa! 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 Yep! Yep! Yes! Whoa! Yep! Whoa! Yep!
Snag rock and roll behind. Right in the top 12 foot. So currently BC is sitting 3.
Nice shot.
Just to highlight the rules of play again, Jerry, in the Masters competition, 8 ends of curling for the teams. Each team is given 30 minutes of talking time to carry out the game. 2 90-minute timeouts, or 90-second timeouts. My error on that one, 90-second timeouts. As I say, 8 ends. After 4 ends, the teams get a 5-minute break. And we are playing the four rock guard rule, so no rock in the free guard zone can be removed until the 5th stone to be thrown. So certainly advantage here to BC right now, and Ellen Brennen is going to be looking at probably playing a hit here on an outside yellow rock and maybe getting a roll. There's an opportunity to roll one in underneath those 2 guards up on the right-hand side here as we look down the ice.
Yes! Yes! All the way, girls! Yes! Hard! Hard, 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 hard! Hard! All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way.
Just over curled a bit.
Well, I think we should go open.
Didn't quite remove that rock.
We don't want to leave anything here. We don't want to go here.
No, okay.
We gotta go
BC
here.
has an opportunity here to draw to lay 4.
Even if we get here.
Just it makes the hit and roll harder, right? If we.
I was watching them throw
You could
out
come right
here,
back to it.
and it was
Pardon?
staying
Right
straight
back to
over
it.
there.
That's not.
Oh,
We're just gonna draw open again. Hey, I don't think we should go try and.
So BC skip
because if I hang
Nancy
out, we give her the
Klebe
hit ball.
down and ready to get into the hack to, or Janet Klebe, I'm sorry, Janet Klebe to throw her first round.
So what do we need? 14?
An opportunity here for a big end to kick this game off for British Columbia.
Make sure.
Take a
Make
look.
sure. It's got to be in, girls. Yep. Right up, girls. Hurry. You can do it. Come on, girls. Come on.
Good
Oh,
sweeping.
well swept.
So they coax that rock into the top 12 foot.
Thank you.
So they're line 4, 1 in the 12
I don't know.
foot, 3
Time
little
there.
biters around
Kerri?
the edges.
Did you get a?
All those ones that are just going to create some concern for Ellen Brennen, because this has to be a really good shot in here to hopefully keep British Columbia to a minimum score.
Fun. Well, oh, yes, what happened? Yep. Get a wick off this. Get a wick. Yep. Oh, it's light. Oh, it doesn't matter, is it?
Nice sweeping, ladies.
Well, she's got it in for shot rock. She's fighting the 8 foot. Unfortunately, it's wide open and gives the BC skip an opportunity to make a hit and stay to count 5.
Kerri, we talked earlier in the show today at one of our draws, I think the early draw this morning, that number 5 cropped up many times in the last 2 days with 5 points in a given end for any team. And so that's a huge advantage, certainly, to kick off a game.
Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Rocks delivered. The supers are watching up, just cleaning a little bit. The line looks really good.
Hard for no jam.
Clean it into the house, and
It's good.
there's a hit in the nose for 5.
5.
You got 5 or
Big
6?
score for BC in the first end, so after one end, score
Not
of
6.
5-0 for British Columbia over Team
I just didn't want it
Brunswick.
to cross, right? I
Just
knew
to
the wave
update
was
the
good.
score or the standings, Jerry, as we move
Good sweep.
into the 6th draw here on Tuesday evening in Guelph. On the women's side, Saskatchewan women have the night off tonight. They're 4-0 and enjoying a good dinner out tonight, I'm sure, here in the city of Guelph.
Top 4, Laurie.
Team Ontario, skipped by Dale
Top
Curtis
4.
out of Galt, is 3-0, and they're on the ice on ice 1. And Team Manitoba is playing Dale Curtis on ice 1 as well. So someone out of that grouping will come out tonight 4-0 as well, and the other team, or the loser, will be 3-1, but certainly be very much in the running.
Okay.
Over there.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
On the men's side,
Nice
British
way, Laura.
Columbia is out
Came
early
up
with a
nicely.
3-0
Well, it's
3-0
along
lead,
across
and they're
the
playing
center.
on
That's
sheet
when
3
they go.
tonight
And we can't
against
hold them.
the host team Ontario, skipped by Jim Lyle, and Jim Lyle is in here tonight at 2-0 and looking to bump his record up as well. So again, a very important game on sheet 3 for those two teams. And Northern Ontario, skipped by Al Heckner, as mentioned earlier, is currently
Think we need
Bruce
to.
Delaney tonight on sheet 5. Al Heckner is 3-0,
Out front
and
anyway.
again, Bruce Delaney is coming into this game
I
at
don't want it
1-1, so
That's not.
a very important game for
Doesn't
both
have
of those
enough
teams as well.
So back to our game. We have BC drew to the top button. New Brunswick put a corner guard up, and now we have BC throwing
Right
a
to
guard on
it.
top of the rock hut, top 4 foot.
Right to it. Little bump's good. Line's
So, Jerry,
good.
you've curled in some of these events at the national level and so forth. When the opposing team hangs a 5 on you in the first end, what's the approach that teams think about them
Nice
to
weight,
try and get themselves back into the game?
Nice weight, Laurie.
Well, it's no holds barred is what happens in this type of situation when they give up a 5-ender early. So you're doing your best to try to score 2, get back in the game, and try to force them in the next end, and then hopefully you can score a couple again. But it's a really dangerous situation. It's pretty demoralizing to have that happen and that early in the game.
Tough road to hoe, there's no doubt about it. And Ellen Brennen and her team will have to keep their focus as best they can and work their way through to see how things play out. Certainly in the next 3 ends till we get to the middle of the game and see what things look like at that point.
Well, sometimes, you know, the other skip will allow you back into the game and play some front guards and front shots, but BC has no interest in doing that. They got this red guard up front. They're peeling it off right now and making it go away. Try to roll in the middle.
Shot, Gene.
Jerry, I've watched this BC team who are out to 3-0 on the ladies' side, and certainly they certainly can throw the up weight, which is necessary if you're wanting to keep things clean, as we just saw in that last rock. They can do that, but
back weight.
Janet Klebe, I've noticed her as well. Very, very good at the draw, and so they're going to be a team to be reckoned with here in this championship this week.
You know, Skip Brennen has called just a tap back on those ones in the forefoot, just to try to move them around, move them back behind the tee line, and hopefully she'll get a jam from the BC team on some of those rocks so she can start to build them in. This rock looks good. It's got a good line coming down. They're trying to hold the line a little bit.
Yes! Yes! Yep! Yep!
Nice shot.
It's not going anywhere, is it?
Good one, Nance!
Nice shot. A nose? You double them both? Yeah. Or early?
On the nose?
Yeah. Okay.
Hi for the nose.
So BC is calling for a takeout on the rock with the top 12 foot. Trying to remove it. Hopefully through the split between the two rocks and
Whoa! Yep! Whoa! 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 Good
she
shot.
executed it perfectly. Got rid of
Very
the
nice.
rock that was behind the tee line, but she doesn't mind losing that
I'll
one
get
at
it.
all.
Oh, I guess
So we have 2 BC rocks in play right now, both ahead of the tee line. Skip Ellen Brennen has called her player to try to freeze on the top of that one.
Oh, this is slower. This is less weight.
So this is the second for New Brunswick. Nancy Porter throwing her second rock of this end, trying to make that freeze.
Yes, still on it.
Nice shot, Jane.
Yes.
And this rock looks like it's over curling, and again, it's one of those indicators, I think, when you get over curl on our ice here
Sorry.
in Guelph that
I can help though,
they
right?
really
just-
take
Doesn't
off
go
off the
anywhere.
center line, and
like-
that circumstance
Put her out of the
happened.
way.
I didn't want to
Nancy's
hit you.
case.
You know that. Give them
Are we two? How many?
I better get a. Well, we're number 2. No, it's
close.
we are. I think it's them second. Do you want to run that?
So
Wanna hit
BC is
it?
lying 2 at this point in time. The
Yeah.
skip with BC has indicated she wants to play a run back on her rock and take out the red rock at the back of the 12 foot. She's not interested in having any red around, is she, Rod? She's
Not
just
at all. Not at all.
Yep.
And, But it leads to potential, Jerry, as you mentioned earlier, that when that takes place, it's tough to run with a big lead off the start of the game. And you're just never sure about how many rocks you want to have around. And this shot executed really very, very well to open that house up. And Janet Klebe just does not want a lot of rocks around in play, quite frankly.
But she gave the advantage back to Ellen Brennen here. They didn't execute that shot, and so they're playing another tap back on this one in the top forefoot, and could leave the New Brunswick team lying two. Not sure I would have tried that run back shot at that point in time. Won the forefoot.
Those ones you were mentioning earlier, Jerry, were again with that lead, you just what do I do here? So
you see this rock coming down here. It's got no rotation on it at all. It actually is just floating across the ice.
It's gone by.
And with her rocks on this ice, there's just no way you can do that. You have to put a good rotation on it. The rocks are sharp, and without that, they just float. So now we have an open hit for British Columbia to relay 3.
Are you okay?
So we have Kerri Miller, the third for British Columbia, throwing here at this rock. Again, looking at this, Jerry, this is one of these outside-in things that we've seen throughout the first 2 days of competition here. That they run a little straighter, but Kerri manages to chip that red rock out of there and roll away. So again, not a bad result for British Columbia.
These guys are getting louder and
Out
louder.
on the edge of the 12, let's push their weight up a little bit.
You were tight.
They certainly do run straight.
Should have just told
Yeah. Because that didn't move at all. And I thought I threw that one pretty good. Yeah.
So we've got a freeze attempt coming here.
Yes!
A really tight ice. On
Hard, girl. Hard. Hard.
better rotation this time.
Hard.
Yep.
Hard, hard.
Yep.
All the way. Yes.
Yep. Yep. Good, Rosie.
As we look across the rest of the sheets, after one end of play, Jerry, and all the other teams, all sheets playing their second end now, there's only one number that really jumps out off any of the sheets, and that was, unfortunately for Ellen Brennen and her team from New Brunswick, that 5-ender. The rest are either blank ends or a maximum of 2, so that certainly leaves a lot of room for any team to put themselves back into the game at any point in time.
Yep.
Hard, 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 girls. Hard for a piece. Hard, 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 hard,
BC team is working this one all the way down the ice.
I don't think we got
And
it.
she flashed.
That was a flash.
Draw.
I was referring this morning, Jerry, to that sound of silence as that rock goes sailing by.
I'm actually surprised she threw that turn. Most of the takeouts she's played on this end have been with the other turn down there. So she switched from an out turn to an in turn and caught some curl, and away it went.
Draw.
So it gives an opening for Ellen Brennen to put a second rock in play. With a little bit of backing of that yellow rock there, so tempt Janet Klebe into something on her last rock. Important here, though, to be in there for second shot and have your opportunity to get 2 in this end.
Come on, curl, baby. Curl.
The sweepers
Curl.
are watching this come down.
Curl.
Looks like it's going to hang on to the back. And,
Whoa. That's sweet.
it looks like it hung on for second shot, Brad. So
I think you're right, Jerry. Just hung on at the very
Try
end.
not to
I think
pull.
just indicates what you mentioned earlier about with the rain stopping here in Guelph and A little cooler temperatures outside tonight. The ice is gliding a little bit more tonight, it appears, than what it did in this afternoon's draw when it was a little bit frosty.
And Vice Miller tried to get the skip no turn takeout, but she wants the in turn too. She wants to go that same product.
Hard.
Looking at hard.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
But she made it and stayed.
You know, it curls.
One.
Gonna hit it on the
Yep.
outside and get both out.
Hard.
Hit
Hard.
that
Right up.
front one,
Right up.
And once again, there's one of those hits that got to the center line early on release and may have just turned it in a little bit and was successful in removing one red, but
Yeah, might as well do the same thing.
still one red counter for New Brunswick.
Yeah.
On the tee line, just biting the button.
I had
Here
you
or-
out here,
The team of Brunswick.
but you were a tad wide, but it's still, I don't know why your rocks is curling so much. That's the first one. Put it there and I'll try to throw, and I will
Updated
throw
score
it
on
curls a
sheet
lot.
number
So
2.
what, Ellen, are you
Kerri
hitting
Oak from
that, or you
Newfoundland
want to
Labrador is
are you drawing right up in there?
playing against
Okay, all right.
I'd like to.
Team New Brunswick.
It'd be nice if I
Robert
sat right
McDermott.
Yeah.
And after a blank in, Team Newfoundland Labrador scored a 2, so they're up 2-0 after 2, playing in the third end.
My first one did too. Once it hits the line.
Just almost. No? Did I not? I didn't have much rotation, I don't think, on that one.
I don't know, it just seems to get to the
It's
hot
not like
line
normal.
and then they warp it.
See if I can throw as good as you fellas.
This is a little less because of the ice, right?
Trying to give it the old heave ho. It's so heavy. And it's dead in the house again tonight. Not like morning, it was a little livelier.
She's just drawing in.
I'm just going to set up a double again. Give me another shot at it.
Is she okay?
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
Shoot.
Ellen, in her delivery, her foot slipped on her, and this rock is
Bring
going
it
a
in
little
here.
bit wayward.
Bring it
Very
in.
unfortunate
Bring it in.
circumstance.
Come on, girl.
She seems to be okay. But just
All the way. Get it
No,
on.
I'm
sliding foot
mad.
down from underneath her. So
You're fine, but the crowd's taking it well.
consoling hug from
No,
the British
they're
Columbia team
wondering
to
how
Ellen,
he's
and
Oh, I'm doing good.
they'll carry on from there.
You okay, Alan?
Yeah, fine.
Good.
Yeah.
So this will give British Columbia the opportunity to remove that red rock and leave Ellen with a fairly difficult shot to score for one with her last rock.
Whoa. Yep. Yep.
I haven't done that for a month and a half.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Sweeper's just working on this rock, taking it down into the house and actually getting a very, very good roll behind the guard. So now Ellen is going to have to draw the 4 foot to take her single point.
Go on here.
Maybe we should hit that.
We're transmitting. Doesn't look like it there, but there's a
Okay.
shot just came through.
Little more.
So
Okay.
keep going.
Little more. Okay.
Or
So we've got
Pardon
a
me?
live feedback up again on our streaming here this evening, so we
Hit
do
it.
apologize for that. Just to update you, it's 7-0 after 2 ends for British Columbia over New Brunswick. Ellen Brennen skipped for New Brunswick with her last rock here in the third end. Drawing against 5, I believe, down in the far house.
Yes.
whoa.
So a fairly daunting task
All
here,
right,
but
come on then.
playing a
Yes.
little hit and roll, and
Yes, yes, yes,
this rock
yes,
is curling
yes.
big once again. Very, very nice shot by Alan Brennan.
Nice shot,
And
Ellen.
if you can pick up any of the sound in the background, folks here watching live tonight in Guelph appreciate that shot after
Almost
Alan's
time.
unfortunate slip on the first drop. But a great shot. get one, stay in the game. So after 3 ends, we have British Columbia 7 and Team New Brunswick.
So that shows a sign of a gutsy skip who's been around a long time. She has a little slip out there and misses her first shot, facing 5, makes a hit and roll for Shot Rock to score 1. Good for Ellen.
Pretty cool stuff. I should mention, Jerry, that Ellen is wearing a cast on her left hand. She throws rocks right-handed. She's got a cast on, and I asked her about that when she came into Guelph here on the weekend, and she says, "Oh, that was just a little bit of an accident, but we'll be all right." And she continues to have a great time. Wonderful lady.
Oh, that's good. No, that's good. No.
Nice one. That was a nice hit.
Pardon?
That was a nice hit.
I just crossed my draw again.
Okay.
So I can only imagine what Rose Donovan was saying to her skip when she just came down after that first rock was delivered, but probably just said to her, "Way to go, skipper, keep us in the game." So big smile and away we go.
Yep. Your way if you can a bit, Kerri.
Nice shot.
Jerry
Shot,
mentioned
Laurie.
2 Western Canadian
Nice shot.
opponents
Thank you.
going at each other tonight over on sheet 8. On the men's side, we have Saskatchewan against Team Manitoba. And you're absolutely right, Jerry. This is going to be a close game. 2 blank ends, and Manitoba scored 1 in the second, and Team Saskatchewan blanked the third. And so we're now playing 4 with Manitoba ahead 1-0.
Good hit and take out on our sheet by BC. New Brunswick is now playing
Whoa,
a draw
whoa.
around corner guard.
Whoa.
They're just cleaning this rock as
Whoa.
it comes down the ice.
Let it curl all at well. Or help it curl. Good one, Shirley.
Good draw, the top 4
Nice
foot.
play. Just normal. Whoa. Whoa.
Once it goes. Come on.
Whoa.
To center. Get to center. Come on, baby.
Whoa.
Nice throw, Laurie.
Good shot, Laurie. Nancy.
And BC with their 7-point
Are you
lead, they
yours?
have hammer now.
Thank you.
They're just hitting every red that's in sight.
Nice shot.
Defensive game as they should be playing with the 7-point lead.
Yes.
Side.
Yes.
Thing. Get on the other side.
Hard.
So we've had the third end completed
Whoa.
in a number of games right now. We're coming home the fourth
No.
end. We're,
Okay.
as soon as we get the scores posted for third end, we'll let you know. New Brunswick women have just put another corner guard up, and then BC has stepped out to
We can
field
leave
guard.
ourselves worse.
Whoa. Yep.
2017.
Yep. Roll it.
Got it.
Thought she was gotta put it right back on, I thought.
So she tried to peel that guard off, took away the New Brunswick guard, but stayed in the center line. So New Brunswick has 2 guard rocks to work with. They're playing a draw around the center guard.
Yes.
Right on the yellow.
Hard. Hard.
In our game on sheet
No, it's
1,
on the
2
front.
undefeated
It's on the
women's
front.
teams. After 3
Right.
ends, Ontario took
Okay,
2
Ned.
or took 3 back, and it's a tied game now, 3-3 after 3 ends.
Well,
Started off with a blank end, and then suddenly 2 3-enders posted, one by each team. So they obviously got into it in the second and third end after playing a blank in the first.
So the New Brunswick didn't get around to bump the rock of BC's into the ring. So now BC decided if last rock they're going to get aggressive. And they're looks like trying to play a split on the front one. Maybe a little tap. Girls are working really hard to get that rock into the rings.
You gonna get either of them in? Okay.
So do you want to draw?
I thought, okay, we're gonna be on the top one. We're not gonna get the other one. We'll just wiggle them around a bit.
So Jerry, one of the scores we were waiting to see posted was on sheet 5 here in Guelph, and that involves the two Ontario teams, champs from Northern Ontario and the champs from Southern Ontario. Al Hackner versus Bruce Delaney, and in the third end, Al Hackner stole 2 and so has taken a huge lead against Bruce Delaney. It's now 7-0 for Northern Ontario over Ontario. I would say probably most people would think that would be somewhat of a surprise that it would be that lopsided early in the game as it is now.
Yeah, I would have expected to see a lot tighter battle between them. Bruce Delaney's team is a very good team, and they've played at this level of competition before, so they seem to be struggling a little bit out there.
Yep. Yes.
Now we have New Brunswick playing a draw around two BC rocks in front. Just can't quite get it by.
Over more. Okay, Rose.
The small rotation that they've got is really hurting them out here tonight with these sharp rocks and.
It just seems, and you're absolutely correct. These rocks have been buffed up leading up to the competition, and there's a sharpness to them, and without that, just that little bit of extra rotation, it's as you described earlier, Jerry. They're going to float down the ice and not react normally in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
So here's a nice hit and run for BC.
Good sweeping, you guys.
They're lying 2 now behind a wall of guards.
That's all we got. Whoa, whoa, whoa on that.
Whoa.
Hey. Rowdy.
Let it go. So we have another draw attempt. They're this one's.
I know, but it's
needs to curl pretty hard to get by.
It's got to get by there. Now you can. It's going to get on that
Just
red.
caught the rock on top.
See, that's why I didn't want you to sweep.
Another opportunity for BC to draw in the house.
You want to get rid of this then?
Yeah.
Okay. Or tap that.
They're coming in no matter what, right?
Want to tap?
Yeah, whatever you like. Yeah.
Well, then we're behind it.
Put another one in me. Okay, I'll be there. Right? You can pop one behind them. It'll take both shots away.
They don't listen when I call them off the room.
I know. Yeah.
It had to get by there.
Yes.
Even if we'd have been half on. Yeah. Yes.
Weight only.
I thought I had the right weight.
Yep.
Pardon me?
So BC Skip has asked
Weight only.
her vice to tap up one of the rocks on the outside.
We're going to tap the other one, but that's okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Okay,
whoa, whoa. That's good. Okay.
Put that one right there in one bag.
Taking the strategy, Jerry, I think from BC standpoint that we keep the pressure on New Brunswick. We might be able to get this game over early, so they certainly are endeavoring to do that now with two rocks in play, both in the 8 foot, but a lot of granite out front of this house, and going to make it difficult for New Brunswick and Ellen Brennen to get a shot in here. She can draw in, there's no doubt about it, but always intimidating when you see that many rocks out front.
Yeah, she's got a path to curl in, but it's looks like it's pretty wide, but it's actually
On the one?
quite tight, the amount of curl we have down here. So she's going to try to draw through the port. She needs a piece of the forefoot to get shot rock.
Just update the score on sheet 3 with host team Ontario, skipped by Jim Lyle. Throwing here in the fourth end, and down right now 2-1 to Team British Columbia, skipped by Ken Watson.
Even last time you were over for your hit and it still came hard at the end, eh?
Yep.
Then I didn't want to leave the front, so I thought I might as well throw it away.
I thought we were jamming at the back, and then it curled past it, the jam.
So, yeah.
Well, I thought, well, I wasn't worried about it.
Helen's getting the hack ready to throw this draw.
And so she came off that.
Yeah.
That's okay, it's good.
Heavy? Is it heavy? Gonna hit this?
Heavy.
Oh, just a minute. Okay, yes. Yep.
This is
Whoa,
the line is
now.
really good.
Whoa.
14-4. Nice
Get it
weight.
on.
Rod, get her.
No, she only wanted to be
Well,
out.
now they don't have a lot.
Just
Half another one
excellent line, Jerry, but that shot, as it comes into the house, they just tend to really grind down fairly quickly, and
Hardly bit missed
unfortunately for Ellen, that shot came up just a
I'd
bit
have to go
short,
this way, and then she's got
and
the
that
hit and
still
roll
leaves
here.
BC counting 2. And again, with a wall of granite
one
out
of them
there,
in.
and it looks like BC is going to continue the pressure here as Janet Klebe and
Okay, we'll try
Kerri
for
Miller
that one.
are
If it
looking at,
overcurls, bump the
again,
other way.
tapping one of those yellows and
I don't know, we'd kick-
potentially sitting 3 after this shot
gonna curl
with,
a ton.
again, a very narrow port for Ellen to come through on her last draw.
Well, it's even smaller now because of the rock she just threw. So it's
And all this time I thought you were a nice person.
So just following the game over on sheet 8, Jerry, as they finished up their fourth end between Saskatchewan and Manitoba men,
We just try
and
and bump one
Jim
in.
Wilson from
We're
Saskatchewan
gonna try
was
and bump
forced
the
to
outside one in.
draw for
If it
his
gets
one
to the
in
nose of the
the fourth
middle
after
one, too.
blanking the third end. So we got a very
Kerri
tight
stayed
game
up.
over on sheet 8, 1-1 after 4 ends between Saskatchewan and Manitoba in the men's bracket.
So we need
That's a
13 and a
pretty
half.
typical prairie
For a bump?
score for old-time curlers.
Bigger, yeah.
These boys are used to throwing them back and forth, and
It's that's the reputation that the Westerners carry with them, certainly in the prairie provinces, carry with them and have carried with them for many years.
Wait only.
not so much with the flatbellies. I like to call them anymore. They're a little bit more aggressive, but people
Let
of
it
our
curl.
generation certainly
Lot of curl. Yep.
tried to see if we could win 1-0.
Yep.
There it was.
Yep. Right up. Right up. Right up. Right up. Right up. Wait, just
There's a
comes
tap
off
in
of-
for 3.
Got there. Good suit.
Ellen's down at the other end.
That
She's
came
got
down
this
hard.
a draw tap she needs to make. She needs to get the rock at
Rose,
least
Well, like I was
go
throwing
this way.
halfway.
full 8 foot.
Even
Yeah.
when we make
To try to cut
contact,
down.
Try that.
Okay.
I don't even know.
So
hit
she's
that
changed
one?
turns this time, trying to come in the other way.
Even then, I thought you had more weight, right?
You needed the angle tape.
This is with an intern and you're going away from the center ring, so this is going to be a precise shot here to make this and stay for shot.
Yep.
By
Yeah.
Grace.
As that rock continues once it gets to the center line and we'll
Whoa,
move away
whoa.
from
Hit
the
center.
4 foot.
Whoa. Yeah. Oh, is it heavy? Yes.
Like, see it
Yes.
once it hits the center.
Oh,
Now she's got it here. Whether it
Looks
stops
heavy
or
now.
not,
Looks
that's a
heavy.
good question. So
Looks
it's
heavy.
coming into the
Well, I was
house
gonna-
now. Just a little bit heavy, so she got on the good ice out on the side, and
No.
so now BC is guaranteed
Are we 3?
2 for sure. They're checking the rings to see if it's
Do we
3.
need to gamble with anything?
Looks like it's 3
No.
from our perspective.
Come this way,
so,
then. No. Okay.
she's got lots of luck,
I don't
and she
even
can
wanna
play an
do the
angle
hole.
raise and maybe get it
Huh?
I
bundled
don't
in
even
there.
want to try
Not
through
sure
the hole.
what
I
she
think we
chooses to
just,
do here.
I just don't want to catch it early. You know what, if it's
Oh,
finished.
yeah.
No,
But
then
with
we
a
bump it,
7-1
right? So
lead,
we're better to
2 is
overthrow.
probably enough
Yeah.
right now, and
Okay.
she doesn't have to gamble.
Trying
at
for
all.
this one. If we
Yeah.
get it on the nose of that, it probably won't be.
I
We
think
have
we
to get
just
it
throw
into
it
the
away. Throw
hole.
it away.
Let's try it. same ice, right?
Yeah,
That's about
you
the
had
same.
a little more ice than that. You had a lot more ice than that.
No, for this,
Yeah.
for the
Yes.
outside one.
Yeah, okay.
We're
So
going for
there.
this one.
Yes.
And you're gonna have a little more weight, right?
Yeah, but we're going for this one.
Yep. So a little more weight, right?
Yeah, but that's more ice because you had like that for.
Okay. Okay.
It's better to overcurl, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we have to curl 16?
We just try to bump that middle one. That's about the same ice we had for the outside one, right? And it's better if we overcurl it than undercurl it anyways.
I wanted
Throw
to
a
come
tiny
that
bit
way,
more,
but
hey?
if I put any, if we
Can't
put
hurt
any
it.
more ice, we weren't going to get by that, right?
All we had to do was touch that little, this one here in a
And
little
I
bit.
thought you had ice. You knew.
Yep.
So she's playing a tap on the outside once again.
Whoa.
She looks like she's got pretty good weight
Yep.
here.
Yeah. Might as well try and put this one in. Yep.
They've only got
Tick,
4
tick,
more.
tick.
I know.
Okay. It just,
No.
the weight just
Just
isn't
caught
enough.
the top one and
Good sweep.
killed the speed on it.
Yeah.
So it looks
you
like
sure you don't
there's
wanna
a score of
measure
3.
I don't think so.
So we've reached the fourth inning break, Jerry, in this one, and
Oops, watch your feet.
a big score for British Columbia at this point.
Kim anyway.
We know for sure it was at least 2, if not 3, so score will be 9-1 or 10-1 as we look towards the 5th. So we have a very early wrap-up, Jerry, on sheet number 5. What we thought would be a big battle tonight between Team Ontario, skipped by Bruce Delaney, and
What'd we
Northern
get,
Ontario,
Kerri?
skipped by Al Hackner.
3.
After 4, Al Hackner stole 2 more and
think so.
goes on to defeat Bruce Delaney 9-0.
We have to ask them.
Play 6 and.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
So that
What
moves.
a game to
Do
be
we
on
have to
TV.
play 6?
I don't think so.
No, he said
No,
we're
okay.
done.
Yeah.
Thank you. They're throwing next door, so let them throw. Come over. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I refuse to thank you for my beating.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good luck in the
Conceded,
rest.
did we?
Thank you. Good luck
So
in the rest.
we've also got handshakes on sheet number 4, our feature
Thank
game,
you.
Jerry. This might mean a short night for us as we don't have that flexibility around cameras, but Team BC goes on to defeat New Brunswick, Aaron Brennen and her
Okay, I'll
team
work on it.
by a score of 9-1. So a big win for British Columbia. That's going to keep the British Columbia ladies in good stead, now moving to 3-1. And Team New Brunswick now will move to 2-2 in the round robin, and both these teams will have another game tomorrow.
So just a brief update here, Rod, on sheet 1, the 2 undefeated teams. They still are continuing to kick field goals. So Manitoba took another 3 back to lead 6-3 after 4 ends of play.
I haven't done it for a month and a half now. But I'm done with that.
So we've got most of the games coming to an end of the 4th end. Our 2 feature games here side by side have finished all right tonight.
yes.
So
Yeah.
we're posting the scores from the rest of the games online. You can keep track of that as going.
Nah.
So we'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 o'clock for Draw 7.
That's correct. And folks, thanks for being with us. We look forward to having you again. And again, always appreciate your comments on live chat. So take care. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.
I don't